Are you an online fitness coach who is great at being a coach, but not so great at doing sales calls? Have you been told by a guru to price at $997 for all your programs and not to reveal that price until the very last moment of the call? Or you find you're wasting hours of your week on calls that go nowhere because the people you're talking to are absolutely not the right fit for your coaching? And does hard selling to anybody that expresses any sort of interest in your program just not sit quite right with you? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you the technique that I've used to sell my one-to-one body transformation coaching for over £1,000 without any big price reveal, hard selling, or any pressure tactics, but has also meant that my sales calls have had an over 90% success rate. Plus, I'm not wasting hours on sales that go nowhere because I'm only talking to people who are 99% ready to buy. But here's a warning. What I'm going to show you goes against what 90% of all business and fitness business coaches will tell you to do. But it really does work and helps you sell your program without any anxiety, without any fuss, to the right people so you can get them awesome results. And the reason fitness business guru coaches don't tell you this method is because it goes against their 7-figure sales script, which they promote, and also their super secret sales post, which will guarantee you millions of new customers within a couple of days of using it. Before we get on to that, let's look at how 90% of fitness business coaches tell you how to sell. Generally, it involves sending a load of cold DMs to people, well, anybody really who expresses any sort of interest in your coaching or your business. And if they reply to your message, you then bombard them as hard as you can to get them on a sales call, twist the knife a little bit, massage those pain points, hard pitch them your 997 program. Always 997 for 12 weeks until they're so overloaded that they just buy. It's a numbers game. Someone is going to buy at some point. Keep plugging those numbers until it happens. But that person you sell to might not be right for your coaching. They might turn out to be an absolute nightmare, someone you can't really help. They might request a refund, they might cause havoc in your Facebook group, bombard you with a load of messages asking questions because they don't understand the coaching because it's not right for them. Good luck getting a positive testimonial out of those people. Now, that method is more of the front loading of the sales pitch, and we want to have a filter right at the front so that we can filter out people who aren't the right fit for our programming and make sure the people who actually get on a call with us, they are 99% the right people that we want to work with. I mean, we do want people to come into our program who are the best fit for our coaching methods, don't we? Now, I'm sure you've said at some point, I don't want to appear too salesy. You don't want to appear like a sleazy car salesman trying to push something onto some old lady that doesn't really deserve it. But here's the thing, being afraid of being salesy can absolutely damage your business. It can stop you from selling your product or your service to the people that really will benefit from it. Plus, you're leaving the door open for all those cookie cutter type coaches with their keto detox tea diets, which you really, really hate. But by not selling your program, you're just leaving it way open for them to come in and take money that should have been in your pocket. That doesn't seem right to me either. So let's get into how you can sell your coaching services without feeling sleazy, without being one of those used car salesmen, and without feeling pushy or uncomfortable. Here's a few questions I want you to think about and answer truthfully. Do you believe in your coaching services? Do you think it's the best coaching service that you could offer somebody? Can your coaching change people's lives for the better? Now, if you answered yes to that, why wouldn't you want to share that with people? It's time to change your mindset a little bit and realize that selling your coaching services is not just putting money in your pocket, it's making a positive change and having a positive influence on other people's lives. Now, you probably knew that deep down, but it's worth rethinking it that way rather than thinking, I don't want to be perceived as being too salesy. One of the main reasons that people hesitate to sell is because of self-doubt. You might think, oh, I'm not sure if they're going to want it, or what if they say no? And while those are relevant considerations, it's also crucial to remember that if someone is following you on social media, if someone has replied to your email, if someone's put their hand up and say, hey, I'd like to know more about your services, they probably are interested in buying from you. So let's try and get rid of that self-doubt and focus on helping your clients and getting them some awesome results. I use a process called the fit filter, which helps filter out people who aren't going to be a suitable person to come on my coaching program. Remember, you can't help everybody and your coaching won't work for everybody. You're looking to solve a specific problem for a specific person. That's how you get awesome results. Filtering out people who aren't a good fit is good for them and it's good for you. Most people will come onto your radar with a DM or an email or a hand raise to say, hey, I'm interested in your coaching. Now, this isn't an invitation for you to spam them with DMs and try and get them on a discovery call or a sales call or something like that. All they've said is, hey, I'm interested. It's like someone's matched with you on Tinder and you've got to find out a little bit more about each other before you go for the marriage proposal. You'll often get people ask you directly, how much do you charge for a diet plan or how much do you charge for a training plan? And this can be quite a difficult question to answer. Some people respond by sending them a long text about all the stuff they do and then putting the price there. And some people just go, hey, it's this price. The problem with that is there's no substance behind that. And do you know what? They probably are not going to read that text you've sent them with all the stuff you do. They're going to scroll right to the bottom, look at the price and go, yeah, that's too much. So telling them the price here is going to turn them off. Best way to deal with this is to say something like, hey, I'm absolutely fine to talk about prices, but first, do you mind if I ask you just a few questions to see if I can actually help you or not? And then we can get on to discussing about price and how I work and stuff like that. Does that sound okay? If they're still going to say to you, no, I want to know the price, you've got your answer there. They're probably not going to be the right person to work with because all they're concerned about is the price. Someone who's actually concerned about getting help with their problem that they've got will be willing to share with you some details so that you can get a better idea about what help they need. So you can use these first few messages to do like a quick check on them to check that they're potentially the right people. You can help them, you can help their problem, and they're not a stalker. Keep it chatty and conversational. Don't just bang out a whole list of questions like the Spanish Inquisition because that will put them right off really quickly. 4 to 5 questions is normally about enough to establish they're not some sort of weirdo. And if you're comfortable and if you're happy, then you can go on a first date. First date in the sales process it's like a first date that you have with someone in real life. A way of just establishing that they're an actual proper human being. It's not a sales call. Don't discuss price on this call. Don't try and sell them your product. All we're looking to do is get a bit more information about them and see if we actually can help them. Keep it short. You don't want to bore them. You just want to see if they're suitable. Make sure they know it's only 15 minutes and you've got to go after that. Don't get into a load of waffling conversation with them. Discuss their goals, challenges, current situation, things that they need to overcome, and if you actually can help them do that. Once you know you can help them, then you can arrange a longer call to really deep dive into that sort of stuff with them. Now, between the triage call you've just had and the sales call you've just booked for, say, a day or so later, we're going to send them something called the sales doc. It discusses how you coach, the result you're going to get for them. Most importantly, at the bottom, it has the price and a few FAQs if they've got anything that they want to ask. It sort of answers those questions. These are the objections you hear people talking about in sales calls. This way, they know exactly what they're getting, what's expected of them as a client to get that result. More importantly, how much it's going to cost them. Being transparent from the start like this helps to remove any anxiety and any sort of pressure, but also this big price reveal that you get on a sales call, which can cause anxiety. That doesn't happen because you've already given them the price on the sales doc. This has to be done right. People, like I said before, will send like text messages with all this stuff that they do. It's a massively long text message. People just won't read it. It has to be structured correctly, not looking like the little bit of paper you get when you open a pack of paracetamol telling you about all the side effects. What we have instead is essentially like a landing page, all the key things that you're going to do for them, the results they're going to get, and then the price at the end. Essentially, it's more like the trailer for a blockbuster movie, which shows you all the good things that are going to happen, but not the detailed story. The key thing here is to not to overhype it and not to use words that people don't use in normal everyday conversations. Don't use things like level up, optimize, supercharge. It doesn't mean anything. I mean, what does level up your confidence actually mean? Nobody knows. Now we actually get to the sales call. Hopefully they've read the document you've sent them. So right at the beginning, the first question you ask is, hey, did you read the plan? What did you think about it? If they've got any objections to the price at that point, they will say about it. They will say, oh, it's either too much or can I pay in installments? Or hopefully they'll just say, yeah, price sounds good. Now you sometimes might get them on the call where they say, no, the price is too much. But in my experience, that doesn't really happen. If the price is too much after they've read the sales document, they'll probably just message you and say, hey, I read the document and actually the price is too much. It's not for me at the moment, but thanks for your time. You've just saved yourself 40 minutes of talking to someone who can't afford your services. Now, if they come on the call and they're okay with the price after they've read all that stuff that you sent them, then they're probably ready to buy. So the sales call now becomes a strategy call where what you're looking at is not so much trying to gear them up for this big price reveal and then bang, there's the price. Are you going to buy or not? It's more like, hey, okay with the price? Great. Let's get started on actually how we're going to solve your problem. And when you go through the sales call, you're looking at their problems, where they want to be, barriers that are in their way, and then you're going to devise with them a plan to get them from where they are to where they want to be. and it's much more of a friendly and helpful process which they're going to get on board with, rather than something like, here's a load of information, buy at the end. So if the sales document was the trailer, this is more like the full unedited director's cut of the best movie they've ever seen, but the last 30 minutes are taken off. And that last 30 minutes is their ending. Now, great salespeople will say people buy with emotion and then support that with logic. And yeah, that's absolutely right, they do. But what we're doing in this situation, we've still got emotion because we're still talking about how they're going to feel, the impact of the change it's going to make on them, the impact of their life at the moment, which is causing them distress. But what we've done is we've given them the logic beforehand. If they come on the call ready to discuss how they're going to change, we can still use the emotion to push forward that buy, but the logic supports it already. They don't have to go, ooh, I'm not sure, I've got to think about that. They've already thought about it, they've already read what you're going to do for them, they're already okay with the price. So when actually it comes to the end of the sales call and you say, right, ready to start? How do you want to pay? They're ready to pay, and there's no anxiety. As a coach, you need to be confident in your abilities and the value that you provide. Show your potential clients how you're going to change their lives and let them make an informed decision about if you're worth the investment or not. This approach gives them time to think, plan, get excited about the change that they're going to make with your help. Yes, you'll lose some people along the way, because once they see the sales document and they see the price, they're going to go, yeah, it's not for me, I can't afford that. Arguably, you could maybe pressure those people or handle their objections to sort of drag them over the line. In my experience, when you do that, you end up with more problems. I much prefer to sell to people who are in possession of all the facts, made a confident decision that you're the right person to help them, and they're happy with the price. And actually that process has worked much better for me in the last 18 months than all the sort of the hard selling stuff that I was taught to do before that. And I've sold programs at a higher price now to people who are absolutely the perfect fit for my program. So actually doing that thing which what the traditional gurus will say, no, that won't work, that's not how you sell, has 100% worked for me. And it's worked for people who are on my Build Business program as well. So if you've been struggling with feeling too salesy when you're trying to sell your coaching, try this approach instead. It's honest, transparent, and it gives the client a sense of empowerment that they know what they're going to get, and also that you're the right person to help them, even before you've gotten to any sort of sales call. And I guarantee this method is going to save you a whole load of time that you would have normally wasted on people who aren't a good fit.